Okay, cool. Matthias, we're going to answer your question now. Okay, cool. So just to clarify, thanks, and welcome to all of you to Atala Prism SSI breakout room. It's always exciting to meet the community and to meet our team here as well, because we get so busy we miss each other often. So, you know, today there's just a couple things I wanted to make sure we cover in this room. Basically, it's if there's any newcomers to SSI, then we can talk SSI and ask SSI related questions. If anybody's gone through our Pioneer program and are busy building on version 1.4 of Atala Prism, if you have any questions, we'll take your questions here. If there's any questions about the Cardano SSI Alliance, happy to take your questions here as well. Yeah, so those are like, those are like the three things that we can take into consideration here. And if there's anything else, general questions, you're welcome to give us a shout. So just related to Matthias's question regarding credentials and standards, are you talking about just credentials issued on Atala Prism or any SSI solution on Cardano?
Currently, any SSI solution that is ready, because I know there's Proofspace, IMX, and all that stuff, but I just want to understand my options right now.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to let Esteban answer your question because he's more familiar with the more technical discussions on the side. Hey, Lucy. Yeah, so Esteban, if you don't mind answering Matthias's question, please.
Esteban, you're on mute.
That's important.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I was saying that as far as I know, the options that are available right now in Cardano, in one way or another, they are based on Atala Prism. So Atala Prism version 1.4 has its own, you were asking about the edits, right?
Yes.
Yeah, basically it has its own edit method that is edit Prism. This method in particular for version 1.4 is not W3C compliant. The one that we have is not that far from the specification, but this is not there. So basically why we haven't done the effort to move that one to compliance is because we are already working on version 2 of Atala Prism. So the decision was to make that effort to make that Prism compliant with the release of version 2. So basically, when the next version is released, that method is designed to be in compliance with W3C specification. So eventually, we want to make this Prism present in the W3C record registry, I mean, where you can see a list of different methods that are there that are in compliance with the W3C specification. So basically, that's what we have at the moment.
Great, thank you so much. Just to clarify, did you mention that also other solutions like Proofspace, for example, they are also based on Atala Prism? Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, Proofspace, I think they have other implementation, but I'm not sure if that one is using Cardano as a ledger for that. I'm not sure if they use Cardano as well for the other, because I know that they also have some capability that is related to Indy.
So yeah, Hyperledger Indy. Yeah,
so
because that's also where issuing credentials is very easy to do. I did some PRs for the Aries toolbox, etc. So I hope something similar will be available on Cardano soon. So yeah, thank you. Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Matthias, what are you currently doing in the SSI space?
Well, currently not, but so we had a Fund 6 proposal, actually, that was, I think that was the first fund where there was a dedicated Atala Prism challenge. And what we wanted to do is have our mediators, so we built Mediators AI, which is a platform to go to mediation within 7 days. We wanted to allow credential issuing organizations like universities. Now we also have our own training program, essentially issue a credential for mediators that they have met specific standards and that they are quote unquote good mediators. So issuing that was something that we wanted to do on Prism, and we went through the Atala Prism program and then found out, well, it's not quite ready on mainnet yet for various reasons. But yeah, that is the use case. Currently, right now, we're finishing up actually a Catalyst proposal where we said, you know what, we don't know when Prism is going to be ready, so we're just going to mint an NFT, right? Which is not great, to be honest. So I was just curious, because on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday is when we have the final session, and then we're ready to issue credentials. Just wanted to get an update on where things are at and if it would be worth waiting maybe a few more weeks or so instead of minting the NFT and use that. So yeah.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Are you working with Bernard Sibanda from Johannesburg as well? Because he spoke about mediator training at the Cardano Summit.
Yes, Bernard, he participated in a couple of sessions. Unfortunately, he was not able to attend all of the sessions, but yeah, and he actually reached out to me and let me know. It's like, hey, can you submit a video? So I did a quick video for the Cardano Summit in Johannesburg, sent a video over to speak about Cardano for Peace, because that's a bigger picture. Right?
Oh yeah, fantastic. Thanks. I really love the video. I wasn't aware of your project, so I also learned something there. So that was awesome. Yeah, and it's actually good to see Bernard sharing your video with people and talking about the work you're doing, which is great. When it comes to issuing Atala Prism verifiable credentials on mainnet, we're hoping that in Q1 or early Q2, we'll be able to do this. I think if you speak to Nick at Proofspace, they've got a wallet on Atala Prism. So he would very quickly be able to configure your use case for you and get you up and running at a fee, because they've already got their business model and pricing model in place. So if you need a connection there, we can connect you. You can, Fayad can just take your details down. Are you in the Pioneer channels or Astros channel or Cardano SSI Alliance channel?
I am in many channels, and at this point in time it becomes overwhelming, but I also have a connection to Proofspace through my governance oversight work with Alison Fromm, who's the Chief Commercial Officer, I believe, at Proofspace now. So I'll bug her.
Perfect. Yes. So bug Alison, and I think you're good to go there. And then they can let you know their timelines, and obviously we need to let them know our timelines so that they can let you know their timelines properly. But yeah, they're doing some great work for the Atala Prism at the moment. But thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you. Don't mean to take up any more time, but thank you for letting me speak, and thanks for the feedback.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else that has any questions for us? Yes, no, maybe.
Yeah. Hi.
Joe, hello.
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry, my name's actually Ben. It's not Joe. I think I've logged in through one of the team members' accounts. But yeah, kia ora, thanks. It's really keen to connect with some of the team from Atala Prism. We have a funded project through Fund 9, which was the Tribal DIDs equals Indigenous Data Sovereignty. And so we are running a very big project investigating self-sovereign identity for Indigenous communities here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're really keen. Part of the project was, we named Atala Prism and wanted to build use, leveraging Atala Prism's SDK and verified credentials and so on. Our build stage starts in February. We're very much doing design and discovery at the moment. Yeah, we'd love to connect with somebody from the team, or yeah, try to figure out how we can start to run some experiments. We would love to, get access to whatever docs there are so that our developers can take a look at the code and see what we can do at this stage. And also, where things are going to be looking at for, in future stages as well. So, whether we have to hold off a little bit longer before we do some of the Cardano implementation or something. But yeah, we're very keen to connect with the team and learn a bit more about that.
Oh, okay, excellent. It's always good to hear that there's more people that want to build on Atala. It makes us smile, so thank you. I think that's Esteban's smile, if you look closely. That's a smile. So yes, by all means, you're welcome to engage with our team. I think Fayyad, so just by intro, Fayyad Adams is our new community manager for Atala Prism. So big welcome to him. You will start seeing his face more and more in this space. And, Fayyad's going to be the one making sure that if our community needs support, that our team is, helping in as best as we can. So I think, Fayyad, maybe if you can share Esteban's office hours. Esteban, can we give your office hours if you don't mind? Because I think it's probably most appropriate to understand what Ben needs. And then we can talk about that internally to see when is the best time for us to actually assist you, Ben. Seeing that we, moving from version 1.4 to version 2, and our preference is that anyone that's building new on top of Atala Prism should rather start with version 2, and we are trying to figure out when that will actually be released, and we, aiming for like early Q2, maybe late Q1. Fingers crossed. It is software, so you can't hold us to these dates. Because software does its own thing. And so what we're going to do is let you get Esteban's office hours in the chat, book some time with him, have a chat so that Esteban can understand what it is you need and how it is you want to use what we have and what your expectations are, so that we can go back to the team, make sure that we understand whether what we're delivering meets all of your expectations or whether we need to just talk around some of the things that may or may not be up to your expectations for now. So for example, Atala Prism as open source. It's not yet open source. It is sitting behind a closed door at the moment. Our open sourcing strategy is in discussion within the team. The community has been asking forever about the open sourcing strategy. It is something under discussion. But we did want to get to a point where V2 is our stable foundation for Atala Prism that we will keep building on, which means that future versions will be backwards compatible with version 2, whereas that may not be the case now with version 1.4 and so on. So yeah, we prefer for you to start with version 2 instead of 1.4 now. But chat to Esteban, let's understand what it is you need, when it is you need it, and we can then have a conversation and get back to you. And then Fayyad, if you can make sure that Ben's details is also in our spreadsheet, please. Cool. Ben, does that help?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks. Yeah, I've got Esteban's calendar and have sent my email contact through to Fayyad too. So yeah, brilliant. Thanks. Really stoked to be in contact with you all. And yeah, we'll figure it out as we go. I
Absolutely.
think we're kind of building the plane in the air. So yeah, not a problem.
Absolutely. So yeah, as I said to our team when we met this year, I said to our team, my mission is to make sure SSI is real in the world. So I'm so excited that we're getting there slowly, one step at a time.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool. Is anyone? You're welcome. Is there any other questions in the room? Ricardo.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I don't have my video on, but yeah, I'm sort of transitioning here. Thank you so much for offering the space and answering questions. So we are having a small nonprofit organization with some friends from work, and from the neighborhood. And we're all about basically learning and teaching about Web3, especially for kids, young adults, like 15 to 18 years old, here in Germany. I was wondering, we would like to have some kind of like a test environment where we can just experiment a little bit with the solutions, SSI, DITs, etc. For example, like our members will go through like a training program, and maybe we could issue them like certificates for their accomplishments. It doesn't have to be like on a real environment. It could be a test net. What would be the best option at the moment to try out the things that are already possible with the Atala Prism?
So what we do have as part of the Atala Prism journeys, we have an Atala Prism Pioneer program, and we're also upgrading the content of the Pioneer program.
Okay.
But that provides education for SSI fundamentals, which talks about the mindset with which identity solutions should be built, and the mindset with which SSI is brought to the world. Because I think that, you know, there's this Web 2 kind of thinking that might be a bit different to our Web 3 kind of thinking. And so the fundamentals course is great. And then we'll have another module called Building with Atala Prism, and then a third module called Human-Centric Design. Now, the Human-Centric Design module, I just did a, quality check on this module, and it's fascinating. I mean, I've learned so much. It was totally amazing, and definitely trying to bring about different kinds of human experiences in the world. So that's fabulous. So there's those 3 modules, firstly. So when it comes to, so I don't know how familiar you are with SSI solutions and whether you need to go through the Pioneer program just to get your knowledge up to speed. And then secondly, you want to respond to that one?
No. We're basically all beginners in the. So we will go through the Pioneers program. I think that makes total sense.
Okay, so for anyone on the call who hasn't already registered for the Atala Prism Pioneer program, you can go to atalaprism.io, and Fayad can stick that link in the chat, and go to Pioneer and then hit register and then send your name to us, so that when we kick off the Pioneer program, it will only be next year, because we need to wait for our version 2 code to land, and then we will launch our program. So yeah, register for that. If the email that comes to you, the automated email, says something about August, I do apologize in advance, because we were planning to launch a version of the Pioneer program in August, but we've delayed it until version 2 of our code is done. So apologies about that.
No
and
worries.
then secondly, where can you test and experiment? Where's the best place? So right now there are 2 places. I mean, we have Roots ID that's built a wallet on top of Atala Prism, and you can speak to the Roots team. They have a bit of a chat interface on the app, which is quite amazing, because it helps you understand what's happening under the hood as you're playing around with, creating your DID and creating a verifiable credential and so on and so forth. And alternate to that would be Proof Space. So that will be Nick Mason and Alison Fromm and team. You could have a chat with them and potentially, potentially get going in like a playpen with them. I don't know exactly what their setup is at the moment, but because they have an identity wallet, you won't have to build that. You'll be able to play with the identity wallet that they have and start going. And the other thing I want to mention about the Pioneer program is, in the fundamentals course, we actually share a governance framework that the Atala Prism team has created, and we will be implementing as well. And this governance framework will be implemented and launched with the Atala Prism Pioneer program. So in the fundamentals course, you start learning about how to enable trust within these SSI ecosystems. There are differing viewpoints in terms of how trust can be enabled, but what we've done is we've taken the theory from trust over IP, and we've implemented that, and we're trying to see, okay, so when it comes to trust, like how far does intrinsic trust get me, right? So if Lucy says, hey, here's my business card, I am Lucy, I work for your bank, please deposit money in this account, like, can I really trust her? Or, you know, is Lucy just trying her luck here? And the question is, like, to what extent do I trust the intrinsic trust? And at what point does extrinsic trust become important? And in my opinion, I haven't really used these words before to discuss the matters of trust. But, you know, extrinsic trust is, oh, I can go and I can see that Lucy is working for this bank, and that Lucy, you know, is not working for a fraudulent actor that's acting as this bank, but this is the real bank because I know that this is the bank's did. So we're busy playing around with both intrinsic and extrinsic trust, but within the 101 course, we talk about the use of the trust registry governance framework and how that fits in to enable trusted ecosystems. And I think if you're looking at, you know, NGOs and providing training, I mean, I also run an NGO on the side. You know, the question is, like, how do I trust that this is a valid NGO? How do I trust that I can, you know, that this NGO is here for doing real good stuff and not for taking my details? You know, you have to start thinking about what makes people trust my NGO, both intrinsically, because it might be your mom and your brother and your sister that's like, use this NGO to learn some Web3 stuff. But then how do people that don't know you actually trust your NGO? And I think the 101 course will make you start thinking about those trust models as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And tell me the Web3 training courses that you're doing. Tell me a little bit more about this.
Well, yes. So the idea came because, you know, here where I live in Germany, close to Stuttgart, and I am in my mid-40s, I would say, so 44. And all the friends that I have around me that are not, let's say, fans of Cardano or the blockchain or, you know, technology overall, they are very, very skeptical about crypto, especially because everything that you can read in the press, that you hear in the radio and the TV, is all negative. Yeah, it's all, oh, here another scam, here another bankruptcy, etc. But there is no information in the media about the positive things that are possible, you know, with the blockchain technology. So everybody thinks about, the currency, you know, like speculation, price speculation. But I am from El Salvador, so I was born there and left the country when I was 18 years old. And yeah, the last visits I did, the Bitcoin introduction had happened. And I started realizing that suddenly some people, you know, in very poor areas of the country that never had a bank account, because the banks request you to have a minimum balance of like $50. Otherwise, they start charging more than it makes sense to keep the account running. And also, many people do not have a place, a real address. Yeah. So this topic of banking the unbanked and identity, etc., it will make a big difference in countries like El Salvador, yeah, or Latin America for that matter. And this is why I thought, together with friends, what can we do so that the developed countries like Germany start hearing about the good part of crypto, about the good part of distributed ledgers and identity SSI. And yeah, that's why we registered as an association here, nonprofit in Germany. It was a long process. It was difficult to convince the tax authorities that we are not, you know, bad people. The requirements in Germany are very, very strict to register a nonprofit. You also have to do an audit once per year. And this is basically our approach to access the people that are very skeptical at the moment. And we hope that, yeah, step by step, we can, show them the real use cases, traceability of products, things like SSI, registration of land rights in developing countries or in countries which are very prone to corruption, etc., etc. Yeah, so basically along the vision of Cardano, banking the unbanked or giving a voice to those who do not have a voice. This is where we are trying our small contribution, and yeah, doing it by approaching children, for example, with simple NFT projects, issuing them a wallet, showing them how to transfer one asset to another wallet. So basically playfully introducing them to to Cardano.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's really good, Ricardo. And I would definitely say, you know, we need to introduce you to Bernard. Fayad can make a note, you know, take your details, because Bernard's doing some education in South Africa as well when it comes to how to create a wallet, what does it mean, how to use it. But I think you're also going that extra step in terms of, you know, saying, yes, you're hearing all the bad things, but yeah, some of the good things that could be possible if we work together and if this is the future we want to create. Absolutely on your page. Also happy to see how we can share some of this knowledge through the NGO that I run. You know, if you have online modules available, and we can send people to that. So happy to chat further as well. And Fayad can give you my office hours now in the chat so that you can book some time with me and we can chat further. Thanks, Ricardo. That's really interesting. Cool. Are there any other questions in the house?
Thank you so much, Anushka. Sorry, I was on mute, but yeah, definitely. I will get in touch with you guys, and very excited and very happy that this breakout session took place, and yeah, that I could share some infos with you guys.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks. Are there any other questions? Yes, Lucy.
I have a question. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
So I just hosted the Houston Summit, and I had an interesting person there who is one of the founders of a large university in the Philippines. He has like a school of medicine, school of nursing, school of architecture. He's just got this huge, huge university. So he really liked what we were talking about at the summit, liked what we were doing as far as Cardano goes. He said he has a lot of students from Africa that go to his university and they pay with Bitcoin. He says he still finds Bitcoin a little bit troublesome. And he was really interested in trying to find a way that he could accept Cardano at his university, like to kind of be able to pay for the courses and things like that, and kind of introducing Cardano to his students. So is there a way to be able to facilitate something like that? Like I'm not, and there's also, oh, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you said, is there a way?
Yeah, is there a way, one, to get education out to them? Can you hear me okay right now? Or am I lagging?
Yes.
I'm lagging?
No, you're
okay.
Fine.
Okay, so one is, how can we get education out to this large university to learn more about Cardano? And number two is, how can we also, I kind of feel like Atala Prism can help them to kind of manage their students also, and kind of getting them those types of IDs and having some more information over what Atala Prism does and how they can benefit from those things.
Ah, okay. So I know that there are some projects, and maybe some of you in the room are more familiar with these than I am, when it comes to Cardano payment systems. I can't remember what the projects are called that are doing like Cardano payment systems, if he wants to accept Cardano. And then I think if he knows which areas his students are coming from, you know, we can tap into the Africa Town Hall and Nana and Bernard and them to understand, like, you know, where are you operating as communities, and how do we reach these other communities that are actually paying with Bitcoin for these kinds of causes, and we can introduce the university to these guys as well, so they're familiar with what's happening. Number one, that's on the payment side. And there might be like some cool wallets that accept payments. I don't know if Lace is already live, but I know like Lace would be one of them in the future. And I think like, Bernard and I might go as far as going like, does he just want to work
I think you're cutting in and out. I didn't hear what you just said.
Let me put my video off. Is this a bit better?
Yeah.
Much better.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I was asking, like, does he just want to work with ADA and in the ADA ecosystem, or does he want to also be able to get his money out in fiat?
No, I think he just wants to work with ADA. Have another payment system or a payment option for his students. I'm not sure what would happen at the back end regarding the school and how they would, what they would do with that ADA. I don't know if they're going to let it sit there or they want to convert it into fiat. I'm not sure, but I think his big struggle is to figure out, okay, one, education piece of Cardano, how he can educate his students about this blockchain, because he was really, really excited about it. And also, again, opportunity for potential payment for his students. He has the university is called the University of Perpetual Delta. So they have a lot of programs and even maybe trying to figure out how to get education to his students about about Cardano and just blockchain in general. But my thought process is they could possibly benefit from some of the services that Atala Prism also brings to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Lucy. So I think from a payment side, he's welcome to chat to Bernard. I think Ricardo might even have some training here. Ricardo, if you have something that can help, you're welcome to mention it here. And then from the Atala Prism side, if they would like to chat with us, you're welcome to pass on my Calendly link, and I can have the conversation, or pass on Fayyad's Calendly. Fayyad and I will join the meeting together initially. And then we can take the conversation from there to see how we can help.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds good. I will go ahead and give him some information and figure it out. We'll schedule some time. He's going back to the Philippines on December 8th, so that's really hard for him to travel, but sometime this month we can hook up.
In which time zone is he at the moment, or are you, Lucy?
He's here in Houston. He's here in Houston until December 8th.
Ah, okay. There is one project called the Blockchain Learning Center. It's run by David Baxter, and I'm in contact with him, and he's very much in the picture of, I think, payments methods also. So I think that would be a very useful resource. And at the moment, we are translating the resources that they have for education to German. So basically, they were funded in Catalyst and have really a lot of illustrations, a lot of infographics, etc. I think that resource would be amazing also for the university in the Philippines. I can find his contact data and put it in the chat as well.
I'm actually one of the translators for his company too. Like I translate to Spanish. I translate all his infographics to Spanish. So
wow.
Yeah, so I can definitely talk to him and find out maybe if he's willing to maybe do something for them as well. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
that's all I had. Okay. That's all I had.
Thanks, Lucy. Thanks. Are there any other questions? Ed, Bjorn? I don't know who else is here. Megan?
Hi, no questions. Fayad and Bruin and I talked yesterday or day before, and we're going to arrange some time with Esteban too to talk more about roadmap. We have lots of questions about, the roadmap of Atala Prism, open sources among many of those questions. Yeah, so it'd be great, to share those as publicly as you're able to, because there's actually a lot of unknown questions about the roadmap, except for some insiders. So the more that you could put on Slack would be awesome once that's ready to announce, beginning with the date, list of features, etc. So, thanks.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Ed. Nice to see you again.
Thanks, you too.
So, Bjorn, I was thinking of your analytics platform again, and I was wondering on which environments does that run at the moment?
Bjorn, you're on mute. You still on mute, Bjorn. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I heard "here you go," but I can't hear you, Bjorn, still.
Yeah, can't hear you either.
Maybe the microphone has a problem. We cannot hear you.
I'll start to answer the question. So yeah, it's still looking at the pre-prod environment, and it's from a user experience perspective, it's a website that one pulls up and can look at the analytics and some of the graph connections between DIDs in terms of what verifiable credentials have been published on chain. And so, among other things, we need to know more about Prism 2.0 to update that analytics platform and plan for that.
Cool. I see that Bjorn is on mainnet as of today. Woo -woo.
Ah.
Well done. How about an applause there, everybody? Well done. Well done. That's awesome. Okay, that's good to know. Can you stick the link in the chat so that people can go and have a look, please? Because I think that's really awesome news. Absolutely. So in terms of what you need, I mean, you've had the conversation with Fayad and we'll organize more conversations. What we are trying to do internally is get the tech team to build as much as possible on version 2 until the middle of December. And then from, so give us 3 weeks. And then we'll be able to say, okay, this is what you're going to get in version 2 of Atala Prism, and that'll help. And then we can talk about what's needed next and how do we prioritize it on the roadmap and what we believe is still priority for us to develop for us to get version 2 where we want to get it. And I think that'll start opening up the conversations for, more open communications and more open conversations. So I'm really looking forward to our Christmas present, which is V2 from the tech team.
Sounds great. Great. People, unfortunately, I have to leave, but it was so great meeting you all. And I'll schedule something. Anushka, thank you so much, and have a great day ahead.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Ricardo.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ricardo.
Bye.
Yeah, and then I think let's hear from Megan. Megan, help us understand what Megan's doing on Atala or SSI. Ah, okay. You keep working, girl. It's fine. No problem at all. But thanks so much for joining us. So on that note, what I do want to say is that when it comes to the Cardano SSI Alliance, I think Rodolfo and Lance have started some work on non-creds. So if anybody's interested in the non-creds work, please join there. They may have created a chat or not. Just reach out to Rodolfo and Lance and, start seeing how you'd like to get involved in a non-creds. And I believe that that is an important conversation to shape Atala going forward as well. So yes, get involved. Let us know what you believe you want or need or would love to have and when. And then I know with the Cardano SSI Alliance, we started talking about sub 66 and verifiable NFTs and the verifiable NFT use case. And my understanding is that NFT Maker and IMX did a proof of concept and may have launched something when it comes to VNFTs. But you know, that's a use case that you can also look at. And if you've built on top of Atala, you can go like, hey, how do I do this on Atala? That's also cool. There might be opportunities there. And I don't think sub 66 has been, like, I don't know whether you call it ratified or accepted by the community yet. So, you know, that would talk about verifiable assets. And I'm not sure exactly how to drive that to acceptance within the community, but that's also work that you can look at and go, how do we drive this forward? Happy to see how we can support. And then when we were in, I think it was Austin or Vegas, I think it was Vegas at CNFTCon, we had a workshop for the Cardano SSI Alliance, and Cardano Foundation was there. And so Cardano Foundation, because, you know, like Atala Prism team is actually a participant in the Cardano SSI Alliance, right? We shouldn't be running the Cardano SSI Alliance because there should be multiple SSI solutions on Cardano. So the Cardano Foundation was very keen to kind of, you know, set up the meetings with the agenda that we as a community provide. And then, you know, with a facilitator from us as the community, so that, you know, it doesn't feel like Atala Prism is running Cardano SSI Alliance. So we will also become participants in that. And I still need to speak to Jeremy and then figure out how that goes along. But I think, you know, that's a very good natural next step for Cardano SSI Alliance, so that people don't feel like, oh, Atala Prism is getting special treatment because they're running the SSI Alliance. Because it shouldn't be like that. And as you all know, Cardano, I mean, Atala Prism is a participant in Catalyst, just like everybody else is. We don't get special treatment. So we have proposals that get funded and proposals that don't get funded. And these are proposals for challenges so that people can get funded for Atala Prism related projects or SSI related projects. So, you know, that's some of the work we're doing within the Cardano community. We totally love hosting these rooms because we believe that it's our opportunity to, you know, learn, grow, and nurture each other. As much as you learn from us, we learn from you. And so we do thank you for your time and for your patience and for your education and your, you know, your participation. So thanks for all of that. You know how to get hold of us. We are not strangers to you. I think everybody here knows how to get hold of us, and you've got our Calendly links in the chat. So please steal it from there and keep it, and reach out to us when you need us. And yeah, just, you know, on that note, I'd just like to say thanks so much for joining, and Fayad, welcome again. And people are going to see much more of you in the future. And if there's anything that you need from us, please, you know, don't hesitate, reach out to us, and we'll see how we can work together. Okay.